now. So thank you everybody for tuning in this afternoon to our Teach 2030 workshop. With me today is Hamid, who is co-hosting. Say hi, Hamid.
Hi, everyone.
Which is brilliant. Thank you so much, Hamid, for co-hosting with me today. We are talking
It's a
today
pleasure to be
about
here.
Thank you. We're talking today about growth mindset and the difference between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. And it's part 2 of our growth mindset series, which we've been running. We have our teaching tips and our blogs that are all connected to this theme last month, this month, and next month. So growth mindset is what we're thinking about today. And the objectives of this afternoon is to actually define closely what the term growth mindset is, what it means for us as teachers and leaders. I'd like us to think about the difference between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset, and reflect upon the type of mindsets that we have and whether we need to alter them and how it influences our approaches to teaching. So once again, thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you can take part in the different activities we have. Hamid, I'm going to hand over to you, and Hamid's going to start us off with the first things to think about.
Thank you, Sarah. Hi, everyone. So again, welcome to this wonderful webinar. To start with, like she has actually said, we want to explore what growth mindset look like, and we share comments with the definition of growth mindset. We might actually have various definitions regarding that, but as a definition to us, as it is showing on our screen, we could see before we go to the definition, we could see there are some different phrases written here. I can do this. Who can I learn from? How can I get better at this? It is too hard now, but I will keep trying. I will get there. So these phrases, these words, they are buzzwords that depict growth, that shows the kind of mindset an individual carries. So, in a nutshell, growth mindset is when you have a strong belief that your intelligence can be developed through effort and learning. So, those are the keywords: through effort and learning. So, the way we think about ourselves, our ability, it shapes our lives. Definitely. The way we think, it's a big there's a mantra revolving around that. What revolves in our mind, it gives birth to what we do. So it's quite important for us to make sure that we tidy up what's revolving in our mind. What am I thinking? Am I good at this? No, I'm not good at it yet, but I can get it by putting in more effort. So the way we think about our intellect and our talent, it doesn't only affect the way we feel. It can also affect what we achieve. Definitely. So whether we stick to new habits or it will go on to develop a new skill. So the growth mindset will propel us to embrace challenges and to stick on when the challenges want to consume, being persevering through the process. So a fixed mindset, like I said, the idea for us to know what a fixed mindset look like. If people believe that their intelligence is fixed and static, this notion like I'm not good at math, I don't know how to draw, I'm poor at writing. Those things we were made to believe it. You can give effort and put in effort to learn anything. So instead of us behaving that we are not good at something, we should accept new challenges. Okay, I can learn this thing. Although it might take time, but I will definitely get it right. I will make mistakes. I might not get it right at the first attempt, the second attempt. But when I put in more effort, I will definitely get what I'm looking for. So there is need for us as a teacher to rigorously cultivate these habits so that it will translate to our learners in our class. So we are going to look at the following examples and let's see which one is depicting a growth mindset and which one is depicting a fixed mindset.
It's brilliant, Hamid. Thank you so much. So what we're talking about is opening our minds so that we're more open to challenges rather than we shut things down if we find things difficult. We're more open and we set good examples to our learners about facing challenges head on. And rather than being negative, we be positive And this kind of way of thinking encourages and inspires ourselves and our learners to move forward. So we've got a little challenge here for you to have a look at these little statements and think about whether they could be classed as a fixed mindset or a growth mindset way of thinking. So if you wouldn't mind participating and putting your answers into the comment box. So for example, A, we are all rubbish at maths. Why should I be any different? So that's obviously a fixed mindset, which I've put down at the bottom. So I'm going to let you have a think about the different statements I've got on the screen. And if you could put in the comment box which you think are growth mindset, which you think are a fixed mindset, the ones that we should try to avoid. Anyone want to have a try in the chat box? B, could I improve this in any way? Do you think that's a fixed mindset? Or it's closed to any opportunity or any progress? Or is it a growth mindset, which is more open and ready to develop and progress? Brilliant, Emmanuel. Yep, thank you. A is definitely a fixed mindset. Absolutely right. Thank you, Dustin. A, D, G, and I. Definitely a fixed mindset. Yes, you're absolutely right. These are the kinds of statements that shut learning down. We're rubbish at maths. I hate new challenges. This is a waste of time. Everyone else is better than me. It's quite negative. It's very closed and it doesn't allow for movement forward. Okay, so the other ones then, this feedback can help me get better at what I do, which is what we're looking for. We're looking for statements that we deliver and use in our own teaching so that we can think about growing and we can set an example to our young people as well. Alice, thank you so much for contributing. A, D, G, and U. Have we got a U? I don't think we've got a U on there actually. But yes, they are. You're absolutely right. Okay, so as I said, this growth mindset is an approach that I'd like us to think about using in our teaching, because having the right mindset, it's not just important for you, it's also very important for our learners. We want to encourage our learners to grow, to develop, to progress. And if we can model that in our own behavior, then that's the best way of teaching our learners to have that type of growth mindset. It's very easy for a young person to shut activities down if they find them difficult or if they find them challenging. Our role is to turn it around, to not limit their possibility for growth, but actually encourage and inspire. So have a think about the phrases that you can see on screen now. Are there any phrases that you've ever said in your classroom? Well, they won't be able to do this. Or that child, they're a slow learner. They won't be able to get a handle on this task. Oh, their writing is always poor quality. So these kinds of statements, they just shut doors rather than open doors to learning. And it is our role to move learning forward. So instead of saying that child is a slow learner, what we ought to be thinking is that child needs to develop, they need to progress, and I'm going to support them in the way to move forward that suits their learning style. So this is what we need to be thinking about. Thank you for all the participants in the chat box. Thank you so much for that. Okay, so what we need to do in order to model our growth mindset is to change our speech, change our language in the classroom. Okay, it links to the outcomes that we achieve and that we want our learners to achieve. We don't want to reduce their progress or what we believe they can do. We want to open things up to encourage change and to have positive effects on their motivation, on our motivation, and overall on academic progress. So can I just ask, has anybody got any contributions about growth mindset, any experiences that they would like to share in their classroom, where they have used this type of language or how they can move things forward? I'd like you to just reflect on your classroom and the way you express yourself to your learners. Feel free to contribute at this part of the workshop. Hamid, have you got any examples from your classroom? Hamid, are you there? I think I might have lost Hamid somewhere along the way. Anybody else got any examples from their classroom where they start having a thought of a fixed mindset? Oh, I've taught your brother, that means you're going to behave that way as well. Or, oh, another member of the family. Let's see what you can achieve. Adelia, thank you for raising your hand. Feel free to contribute.
Thank you, Sarah. Hello, everyone. Yeah, what I notice is that some students, when they get to class, they become so timid. They've already maybe were told by other teachers that they can't make it. So what I usually do is I just get to them, tell them you are not different from these other people. There is nothing you cannot know. You know, you're such a brilliant person. The fact that you can't understand like the others doesn't mean you can't do anything. So I make sure I sort out these students and give them that confidence. And I remember I've done that in one class. This teacher was always timid. Presently, he struggles to answer questions when he wants to read literature when we are there. So it's really, really it's really helping these students when we do this. Thank you.
That's brilliant, Adelia. Thank you. What a brilliant example of a growth mindset. Well done to you. Alice, I see you've got your hand up too. Would you like to contribute an example?
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yes,
Hi, Alice.
can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Example of a fixed mindset I have noticed for a subject teacher like me, because I teach history in my school, is this mindset that all students believe that history is sometimes boring or very difficult. So probably because of some teachers that they have come across and how they have portrayed the subjects to them. So one of the way I actually use to encourage my students and try to reorientate them and change this fixed mindset about the subject is making the lesson more fun and adding more engaging context to make it relatable to them in the classroom. So that is what I've done so far.
That's brilliant. Thank you very much, Alice. That's a growth mindset way of planning your lessons, isn't it, by the sounds of it? That's fantastic. Thank you. Dustin, welcome. Can I just reintroduce Dustin Murray to everybody? He is working with us, the World Encyclopedia. Isn't that right, Dustin? You're on mute.
Hey, I got you.
There
yes,
we go.
yes, ma'am. I had a really fun story about a student that I taught 3 years ago, and he was going blind, and he had maybe 5-10% vision, and he was shutting down. He was definitely discouraged. And we did an art project, and he had a teacher with him in our room who was an auxiliary lead, and he was painting the aurora borealis, or the northern lights, and he every time he would want to quit, she would encourage him, and she would tell him ask him what colors he wanted to use, and she would guide his hand as he painted. And eventually he got to the point to where he felt really confident, and so he would simply ask for the colors, and then he would try to paint it himself as much as he could, and she would give him like a boundary. And he finished the whole project. I have his painting up in my classroom at school to encourage other people when they feel like quitting or they feel like they can't do it, I can point them to that painting and say, hey, listen, this kid, like he's completely blind now. And he kept going and he didn't give up and he didn't quit. And so hopefully that's an encouragement to others to maintain a growth mindset as well.
That's a brilliant example, Justin. Thank you. An example of a fixed mindset turning all around completely into a growth mindset. What a wonderful example. Thank you. Cynthia, I see your hand up. Thank you. Would you like to share an example in your classroom? Can you hear me, Cynthia?
Yes. I muted myself again. Okay.
There we are.
Yeah. Okay. Personally, I think what causes this timidity amongst children that makes them unable to participate, to develop the growth mindset, is because of the fear of failure. From my own experience, I've had several learners who had that challenge, who are afraid to fail because the people around them are making them feel failure is not necessary, not important. So the first thing I do, I always encourage my learners to fail. Very important. And I give them this idea. I have this belief that I'm the most intelligent person on the planet. Not because I know it all, but because I know where to get all knowledge. So I always give my learners this same idea, this same mentality that as long as you know who to go to, as long as you know how to ask, as long as you ask, you know it, you're the best. So just be confident to fail. It's not bad. And that has helped me a lot because I've had several learners who, I had this one girl, very timid, fear from her mother instilled in her. So because of that, working with her, I was able to kill that timidity and help her develop the growth mindset when now she can't talk to anybody, even her mom. And it's a great success for me.
Oh, that's brilliant. And I can see you smiling a lot as you deliver that story, Cynthia, which is so lovely because it just is proof of the pudding. It's proof that growth mindset is encouraging for us and encouraging for our learners. Thank you so much for sharing that experience. Thank you. Emmanuel, you've got your hand up as well. Would you like to share an experience of growth mindset with us?
Yes, please. Actually, I'd like to talk about environment, creating a stimulating environment that will allow our student participation so that we don't allow the higher attainers to dominate class discussion. So teachers, what I do in my class, I try to create an environment where we are open to varied student opinion so that even the higher attainers have something to learn from, the low average attainers. And one way we do that is to have multiple response to questions. It's not like mathematics, in most cases where we have just one answer. But if you have a subject like history, you want to see things from students' perspective, and then you encourage students to show evidence for what they are advancing as the appropriate response so that others can learn. And that way, it opens doors to learning. Thank you.
It's a brilliant example, Emmanuel. Thank you. That's a very positive growth mindset outlook and strategy in your classroom. Thank you for sharing that. That's so lovely to hear. Adelia, I see you've raised your hand again. Did you want to add anything else?
Oh, thank you so much, Sarah. Yeah, I was just about to give another proposal on.
Oh, I think we might have just lost Adelia. Just give her a second to come back.
How we can do this growth mindset, use hands-up method. So it enables avoid that the bright learners always speak and the other ones are quiet. Another aspect I do, since I'm a language teacher, what I do is I construct, when I need to construct.
Nope. Wobbly signal here. I think we've just dropped out again.
I will use the names of this. Say, I call the name, your name is Emmanuel. Emmanuel is an intelligent boy, and everybody in class will be like, yeah, you are intelligent. Just that it motivates the student to know that they are so important. So we can relate the lesson whatsoever to the lives of the students, making them feel part of the lesson. And in that case, in that way, it's going to help them to develop. Thank you.
Thank you, Adelia. I think you're absolutely right. Teacher-student relationships are really, really important. Well, thank you so much, everybody. You've really shown or shared some beautiful experiences in your classroom, some great examples of a growth mindset and different strategies that you're using. So just to finish off, I've got a few little bullet points up on the screen to reflect upon, which has just skipped forward, sorry. But just to think about what type of mindset that you've got, what type of mindset that you display in your classroom, and how you might change things if that's what is required in your classroom. Try not to fall into the trap of a fixed mindset. Adapt our thinking to move forwards in a growth mindset way, and we can model this to inspire. And just as I've seen you all smiling today when you've shared your experiences, a growth mindset is a really important way of thinking for our teaching. Okay, well, I'm going to start wrapping things up now. Thank you so much for joining us today. We have run over slightly, so feel free to slip away if you need to. If anybody would like to contribute anything else, you can stay on as well. As you know, we've got lots of courses on the Teach 2030 website, which supports growth mindset. We've got the actual growth mindset course, part 1 and part 2, which goes into more detail about growth mindset in the classroom and different strategies you can use. We've got teaching tips. We've got our ambassador newsletter now, which is a really good read. Voices from your own community sharing experiences. So thank you so much for coming to the workshop today, and hopefully I will see you on the next workshop in March. And just a little heads up, I'm going to slightly extend March's workshop because Dustin Murray from World Encyclopedia, who is working with us now, he's going to contribute some ideas and strategies that you can use in your classroom with their resources. Okay, thank you for coming, everybody. Feel free to slip away if you're ready to. If not, stay on if you've got anything else you want to add. Thank you, everybody. Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.